the question marks. Colin Cowherd came out and said Jared Goff's one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. I would argue he was even higher than a couple of people on the list. I would argue he's higher than Aaron Rodgers right here, right now. I would argue that he's higher than Matthew Stafford right here, right now, especially when you put the reality of the situation in, which is your cap number. That's real in the NFL. That's your arsenal. Those are your weapons to get players. That's how it works. So, yes, it impacts it. And then I get on the woodwardsports.com chat thread, I get Ryan, who says, trade Goff for Aaron Rodgers. Okay, cool, Ryan. How are we going to get that number to line up then? What $30 million are you taking off the Lions books right now? Who you cutting? Who you cutting? Get in reality. People like Ryan out there, get in reality. Understand how things work. I don't know what they want, D-Mac. I don't know what trade Goff for Aaron Rodgers.
Well, why? I mean, that's not even realistic, right? Like, you look at the money and you look at what you have to weaponize. We have these arguments all the time, right? Of who do you trust going into it? But where Goff is at with his money and stuff like this and sitting there, it makes the rest of your salary cap, right, weaponizable for other players to around him. What is about Jared Goff ain't the world beater, the end-all, be-all, and to that point, why are you going to do that to Aaron Rodgers? Because you don't think he's got anything left. So why are you going to pay a guy more when you think he's worse?
Not more. In 2 years, you'll pay him double.
But it's irrelevant because we're thinking about the rest of the team. Can we not all agree it's what you put around this guy also that makes him good, and then you need to add to the defense to win? So, like, I mean, it's like ridiculous argument right now for where this team is. If we're seriously in a contention to win the North next year, that a lot of us think that we can do, there's way bigger fishes to fry, and you've already taken care of your quarterback position. I want to know, like, here's the thing that I would ask, like, the national pundit or whatever like this, is which team's quarterback contract is under the best deal? I got to think, like, Jared Goff for what you get in return to what his contract is to what he means that you have to pay him down the road or guaranteed, which is nothing. Right? That's to that fact that it's got to be one of the top 5 quarterback-friendly team contracts. That's what you need right now to get to the next level to add other things. Is it not, Neil? Am I reading this wrong or understanding this wrong? Because I don't think people understand the fact that you don't have anything residual, right? What you see is what you get. Here you go for doing that. Not like Rodgers has got. We got to decide if did he come out of the darkness yet?
I don't know. Do we have an Aaron Rodgers darkness update?
Anyways, irrelevant. Yeah. He's got a 99. He's like retired 99, 50. Like, there's millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on the back end repercussions. A lot of these guys, right? Even Patrick Mahomes, who has a friendly deal, he's got to be willing to go along with it, right? Like,
sure.
So what I'm saying is that all these involve conversations between the player and the agent and the team. This one, Brad Holmes has already said, you're good. I don't have to worry about you, even if you're a prima donna and worried or whatever. We took care of that, right? Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
Which makes so forget about your quarterback. Go look at who are the free agents that you can sign to make that huge impact, right? Like, why would you waste? Like, that's how ridiculous it is. That $15 million that you would. And whatever else you would get rid of, I mean, isn't there like somebody on defense or that you could, or even somebody on offense that could help this team? It's just ridiculous.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Zach Conley. Neil, calm down. They're Lions fans. They don't understand being in a good situation. It's new to them. It's not Lions their fault. No, Zach, I get that. I do. I understand that. We're all new to this, right? It's just the path has been proven that good teams are good, and we've seen this for a very, very long time now. The good teams that are good through the draft. Look up and down the rosters, man. Where did most of them come from? They get drafted. That's the way that it works. We do got to touch on that, I think. We got to take a look at the second round. Just dip our, how we dipped our toe in the water of the draft? I think we need to dip our toe in the water the second round of the draft.
Yeah,
I think we'll do that next segment.
For sure.
Just dip our toe in it. Nothing conclusive. Just let's see where we're at. Let's see what's available. Let's see how things are lining up.
Sounds good to me.
We'll do that in a couple minutes, though. Just want to look at what else is going on. This one was pretty good. Shoot, I just lost it. The people do like the Lions fans drop. That one is a classic to me.
Right, and I want to see the one when she gets her flowers. Can we not all agree? Should Sheila get her flowers? Are we ready to give Sheila her flowers? Right? And it's still a great drop, though. But I'm saying, like, I don't know. That's one of the big differences, too, isn't it, Neil? Like, she deserves them, doesn't she?
Right.
No, she doesn't?
No, she does.
Okay.
No.
I'm just wondering. There's like, we could all agree, so I can't wait to hear that drop, too.
Scabs. Neil can't emotionally handle the fact that we're pointing out that Goff isn't as good of a player as his value is to the team. He's worth way more to us than his raw value as a player. I'm trying to digest that one. Because Scabs, I think it's the other side. I think you guys can't emotionally handle the fact that he's an incredible value and a top 3 contract as far as quarterbacks are concerned in the NFL. When you parlay the fact of cost to market, cost to performance, escapability of the contract, how there's none. Ask the Packers about that right now because they're trying to figure out what they're doing. Dollar for dollar, ask any business owner if they surveyed that scene who they would take. Any business owner in any facet of business, the production versus the cost is there. And if you can't understand that, or more importantly, won't understand that, then I can't help you. Common sense can't help you, because that's what it is, D-Mac. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that gets people upset. It's just that's where it is. Now, can variables change? Certainly they can. Could he regress? Certainly he could. But with all the Ben Johnson hoopla, with all the Ben Johnson hoopla, stands to reason it wouldn't, right? It will only improve, right? Because everyone loves Ben Johnson.
Look what's around. It's just that. It's who's around him. The guys that are around him, right? As Jamal Williams re-signed yet, but you look at, you got a full year with James Winston, you know what I mean? Like the guys that are around him, it's a unit. It's building it together. They're only going to get better. They just, yes, there could be regression, but I don't see it coming. I see them building and building and building on what they have now. Health's a big issue. What you're going to do with DeAndre Swift, that's sort of something. But at the end of the day, Neil, guys, if you trust in Brad Holmes, then just sit back and relax. That's what it comes down to. Because he's proven he's got to make the right decision. Now, I will give it to everybody that goes A+ for drafting, C for free agent. He's got to prove himself with the free agents, but let's give him the opportunity. And you know what? The way he set up his quarterback contract is giving the opportunity. I don't think that's
fair either, D-Mac. The people that are doing that, because again, and no one's ever talked about this in this town. We're the only show in this town that's talked about the fact that his biggest free agent signing last year was Jamie Collins and Trey Flowers. That's factual.
No, what I'm trying to say, okay, let me rephrase this. What I'm trying to say is when he goes out and doesn't re-sign the guys that have been here like he's had to do, because what he's doing is to save the money, and goes out and gets that free agent. The biggest thing for Brad Holmes, right, and this is where I'm talking about the free agent, can the Detroit Lions of Brad Holmes go out and get a guy that would never come here, that's going to be productive, that you go, holy shit, that guy would never come here before. That's when it's changed. That's why
when you can do that? When you're not paying Trey Flowers and Jamie Collins $19 million.
I get it. And if this is about the quarterback, and when you've got the contracts and everything in place and guys are buying in. But what I'm saying still, Neil, there has to be, I want to go to Detroit and play. Are we missing that out? That's the free agent buffer. Other than just to go get your paycheck like back in the day. I'm not talking about those guys at the end of the contract. I'm talking about the Levante Davids,
It's choking me up.
Fired up. But right, that free agent. Don't you think that when you see that free agent signed, you're going, wow, bing, isn't that coming? Aren't we waiting for that, or no? It's just going to be business as usual.
If that opportunity presents itself.
Right, when it does. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
Okay, let's try it again.
Brad Holmes had no choice. But to come in here and make the books proper. Mm-hmm. With the quarterback, all this. So we resigned guys that had been here before, right? He hasn't, to his defense, been swimming in those waters, out fishing in those seas yet. Do you think he was out there trying to get this prime free agent I'm talking about? Yet?
No, because he didn't have the fishing pole in the tackle box.
But when he does and goes out there to the dance, to the fish, and goes to put his rod in the water, so to speak, right? Factual. He's coming back with not a friggin' perch. He's coming back with a goddamn muskie or a
bluefin tuna.
Bluefin tuna.
Yeah.
Right? Because he hasn't been there yet. Because he's waited. Because what makes him the best GM is because he hasn't gotten in front of himself. I'm just waiting for that free agent that everybody tells me he can't get, that he gets. Because all his free agent signings have been mostly retreads.
Right. But
that's why I give him a C.
Do you think there's an angle of his big free agent he got was the Aiden Hutchinson and the James Houston and the Kirby Joseph, the big play guys that you want to see big plays from?
I don't put them, but I don't categorize my draft choices with my free agents.
Right, but maybe he doesn't feel that dude is out there right now, to whereas he looks at his draft board and says,
I'm saying the dude hasn't been out there.
Right.
He hasn't gone into the game yet. He hasn't put his chips on the table. He's been waiting out. He's ready to play, but he hasn't even been dealt in yet.
Right? Yeah, he hasn't bought in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's still
not
at the
bought
cashier
in.
window.
He's sitting out there. He hasn't. He's letting everybody else do it because he's not in that position. That's all I'm saying.
Austin the Truth says they aren't free agents. Stop it, Neil. No, that's my point of it all, is that he feels as though there's not anything out there that's going to be overpriced that he can't go get on his own for rookie cost. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like there is a franchise push, a lot like we talked about with the Red Wings that we're talking about with the Lions right now. There's a franchise push that's going on, not a playoff push, not a free agency push. And I get it. We've discussed this. Like, I know that's what everybody wants to see because we're more about the transaction than the action. That's the way we've been conditioned.
That's the truth.
Like, it's almost like...
Wait till even for everybody who doesn't like hockey, but even NHL trade deadline, you see some of the names go. And they'll start going, like, what, we got 2 weeks left? The third?
Oh, yeah.
So, maybe that's what it is, Neil. Because there's a lot of the comparisons between what Brad Holmes and the Lions are doing and what Steve Yzerman and the Wings are doing.
Yeah, so that's where I think it is. And with Brad Holmes, there is an angle of franchise building.
To the last thing, Brad Holmes did DJ Chark $10 million, right? But that's $10 million in a market that Kenny Golladay gets 20 something.
Right.
So what I'm saying is that that's still market value. But he hasn't made the splash. That could be his biggest splash. He hasn't. He hasn't even bought in yet. Doesn't know if he wants to. He's looking to play the big game. The big game.
The big game.